Hello, welcome to another special Unsourced Wall unboxing. Today I'm taking a look at the brand new Star Wars Black Series Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett series, miniseries. Is there going to be season 2? Who knows? Probably not. But this is also like the version from The Mandalorian as well, because it says this is the Throne Room edition, which is where he was at the end of the second season of The Mandalorian. And I know that there was a previous Boba Fett Mandalorian release, but that was his Typhon version, which is the first version we see him as, where he's just wearing the robe and has his armor very sloppily affixed on. So this is the primary version, and this is the one I've been waiting for like over a year, maybe close to 2 years now, and I'm so glad to have it. It's the Luxe release, so it has all these different accessories, most of which are essential to Boba Fett, so that's kind of like a weird thing. It's the Luxe, but if you didn't have these things, you're not really getting a Boba Fett, are you? But it comes this great wide packaging with photorealistic art of Boba Fett from the shows and a small biography. But let's get him opened up and see what's what. So here we have him out of the packaging. So first things first, I want to say this is an incredible likeness of Temuera Morrison. Now my only problem is that his scars are like really white and noticeable and they stick out. Now of course scarring is something that you expect, but like it doesn't really seem like a cohesive sort of scar. It feels like it's just actually painted on, which is what it is. So it sticks out way too often. But other than that, it's fantastic. And I know that the Black Series has been using this standard Temuera Morrison sort of head sculpt for pretty much all their clone troopers or Fett figures. So, you know, it's nice to see it like on an actual figure like this. But of course, we have his helmet anyway, so we're going to put that right on, see how that fits. It's really snug, but it almost feels like it snaps in there. You can definitely see like where the chin meets everything. So it's not really as close a fit as it would be in reality. But if you get his head sort of straight forward, lean down a little bit, you won't notice that chin at all, and the rest of the ropes hide that very neatly. We also have his scope eye visor thing, which you can put right over his head right there, his eye line. That's fun and that's nice. And overall, I do like this design. It is a very kind of drastically different design than most Boba Fett figures are, you know, with that whole kind of jumpsuit look. This is more like Tatooine robes and everything. But I really dig it. And I think that the way that the figure sort of handles it is good as you can expect. Like, because it's a flowing robe design, this is like hard plastic. Maneuvering the figure does break that up a lot. But hiding some of the stuff like the knee joints under some of these billows is fun. It's a nice little trick, especially on this end where you have like this free-flowing little hanger off of the fabric. So you can get that done, and then again it looks a little more cohesive and sort of put together in person than you would expect for, you know, what's meant to be entirely fabric and wrinkled and free-flowing and billowing. That's the word, and billowing. But after that, his next kind of big accessory is his jetpack with the missile, where there's 3 different slots on the back and 3 pegs right here, 2 rectangular, 1 circular, and they fit not quite flush. See, they stick out a little bit right there. You can definitely see where the peg attachments are, but you know, it works well enough, and it's directly proportional. The missile tip comes off, so it kind of sways a little bit while in there. I guess you could use that sort of multi-directional positioning if you want to like really sort of go in. Overall, when you put that on there, it does complete the look more or less. His next 2 accessories are laser pistol and this rifle. Now, the pistol fits, I believe, snugly in his side holster right there. Yes, perfect fit. And the rifle, now I always have the worst luck with getting Black Series figures to hold their sidearms, to hold their weapons. Like right here you have like this little clutch and also the trigger. So I'm wondering, this being my first Boba Fett figure, what we can do about it. Anyway, I got it in. As you can see, thumb through this little clutch, and then also the trigger finger where that goes, and it fits nicely enough. The cables on both ends don't really make it conducive to getting sort of a classic double grip on it. As you can see, he can manage it, but it's not very agile, to say the least. Looking best when he has it like strewn down like that, like your classic Boba Fett is wont to do. I guess the one last thing I wanted to mention, now I'm recording this bit a couple of days after because I forgot to mention this, but this version does not come with this Boba Fett's iconic gaffy stick, the one that there was an entire like 3-episode arc explaining why he had it and the significance of it to him and his character development and his fateful and honestly really incredibly done, probably the best part of the entire season, his duel with Cad Bane. It doesn't have it. In fact, there's not even like a space for it, which is weird because it's so important in the show that this version, like, which isn't cheap and it comes in a giant box, doesn't have. It came with the aforementioned Typhon variant of Boba Fett from Mandalorian Season 2. And, that's pretty lame because it is a lot more important to this version, to Boba Fett's show, than it was in Mandalorian Season 2. And it makes it feel a little bit less complete. It's still really cool. Still got his rifle, still got his pistol, but it's a bit of a very glaring omission. But overall, it's a fine figure. It looks cool. It's definitely a great representation in the Black Series of this particular version of Boba Fett. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like the show. I had lots of problems as well. I wouldn't call it anything more than just okay and very boring at worst. But overall, I still like this version, mainly for a couple of things. I grew up with the prequel trilogy. I always thought that Jango Fett was always like so cool in comparison to Boba Fett. I never got the hype, at least in terms of what's shown on screen, but Jango was always so awesome. So when Temuera Morrison was said to come back as Boba for The Mandalorian Season 2, that was really exciting. I think he did a great job in Mandalorian Season 2. But what I think was the real death knell for the Boba Fett show was just its way of structuring the story and pacing the story. It just made it feel very bland and unorganized. But Temuera was great. I think the finale was fun. I think he has a good handle on the character. Just the plot really let him down. But overall, this definitely is my Boba Fett because Temuera Morrison, the history with the prequels and how I think some of the better, more character-driven parts were things that were carried forward from the Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars animated series. So that was really fun, and I thought that was something that really captures kind of the essence of this. So I'm glad to have this. And also just generally the vibe that I've been getting from the Mandalorian series and the whole offshoot of Star Wars television, where the Mandalorians, or at least the people in Mandalorian armor, are sort of like knights on like a sort of holy grail quest of some sort. An Excalibur with the Darksaber and all of that. It really excites me. So it'll be really nice to see if that continued forward in Mandalorian Season 3, to have like this whole Black Series group of like knights at the round table for Mando's, King Arthur, or whatever ends up happening. That's just my thoughts. But overall, great figure. So I do want to see him sit against other characters from this TV show universe, including Mandalorian, which is the credit edition, based on a more pulpy, old school style design, seeing the Mandalorian kind of credits montages of the concept art, which is my preferred look. I don't really like the way he looks in the show itself. This is poppy in all the best ways. And also this Clone Wars branded Cad Bane. Now this isn't like officially the Cad Bane from Boba Fett. Both animated figures, the Black Series always had this weird sort of thing where they try to make the cartoon stuff look as live actiony as possible, up to and including, like I've said, using a standardized Temuera Morrison head for the clone troopers, which has always been weird. But overall, I think that they look pretty good together as a group. I already have a Cobb Vanth pre-ordered because, as I've said, the tone I'm getting from the Mandalorian shows is that there's like this sort of people who wear the armor kind of group going, and with the whole magical sword thing with the Darksaber, I'm getting a lot of Knights of the Round Table vibes. So I want to kind of fill that out while I have the chance. But you know what? Boba Fett, really good figure, really fun. It's definitely the least finicky with Mando and Cad Bane, the legs were awful. The accessories didn't really clip on well. Unstable as hell. But no, Boba Fett, good, sturdy, feels reliable in the best ways. And you know what? I'm glad to have him. Like I said, this is my definitive version of Boba Fett, and I couldn't be happier about that. He just looks really damn cool. Hopefully, in the future, the Black Series releases a retooled Jango Fett just to complete the father and son set. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great time out there. Let me know in the comments below what you think of either this version of Boba Fett, this figure itself, and have a great time out there. See you next time. Have a great week.